In the final weeks of 1878, a chemist in the north of England switched on a light bulb that stayed lit, and almost nobody outside his own city noticed. Just over a year later, a different man, in a different country, would switch on a light bulb of his own. That man's name is the one you already know. This isn't a story about who invented the light bulb. Both men earned that. It's a story about what happened after the magazine article, the 2-week sprint, and the legal fight that decided whose name the world would remember. Joseph Swan was a British chemist working out of Newcastle, a man who'd already made his name in photography before he turned to electricity. He'd been chasing a working light bulb, on and off, for nearly 2 decades. Thomas Edison ran something closer to a factory than a laboratory, dozens of researchers in Menlo Park, New Jersey, competing to solve the same problem, not just making a wire glow, but making it glow for hours, safely, in an ordinary home. Both men were chasing the same finish line. Only one of them got there first, and it wasn't the one history remembers. In December 1878, Swan demonstrated a working incandescent lamp to a lecture hall in Newcastle. Weeks later, he did it again, in public, to a crowd that included working scientists. It worked. Thomas Edison, at this point, was still failing. His early bulbs burned out in minutes. He hadn't found a filament that could survive being heated white-hot without falling apart. Then, in early October 1879, Edison read a magazine article. Scientific American, describing an English experimenter's success using a carbonized filament to make a bulb burn longer. The experimenter was Joseph Swan. That same day, Edison's notebooks show him switching his own experiments to carbon. Within 2 weeks, on October 21st and 22nd, 1879, his lab achieved a bulb that burned for over 13 hours straight. Edison filed his patent application days later, on November 4th. It was granted that January. The bulb that made him famous arrived almost exactly 2 weeks after he read about someone else's breakthrough. Here's where it stops being a coincidence and starts being a paper trail. Swan, oddly, hadn't rushed to patent his own work in Britain. He wouldn't formally file until late the following year. But when Edison's British company tried to move into the UK market, Swan's lawyers made a simple argument. Their client had demonstrated a working lamp, in public, over a year before Edison's famous bulb ever switched on. Edison's own side reviewed the case and didn't like their odds. If it went to trial, Swan's prior public demonstration could be enough to unravel Edison's patent entirely, not just in Britain, but as a precedent everywhere. So instead of risking a courtroom loss, in 1883 the two rival companies did something unusual. They merged. The new company was called Edison and Swan United Electric Light Company. Everyone just called it Ediswan. The glass bulbs sold across Britain used Swan's original design. The filaments inside them used Edison's. Outside Britain, the merger barely registered. Edison's name was already attached to the story the rest of the world was being told, and his companies eventually became General Electric, one of the largest corporations on Earth. Swan was knighted in Britain. He kept working. And in a strange footnote, while searching for a better lamp filament, he accidentally invented something else entirely. By forcing a chemical solution through tiny holes, he created the world's first synthetic fiber, the ancestor of what we'd later call rayon. He patented that too, almost as an afterthought. His name is on a technology most people have never heard of, attached to an invention most people credit to somebody else. Bell and Gray's story was murky. This one isn't. There's a magazine article, a 2-week gap, and a merger that speaks for itself. But Edison and Bell aren't the only names in this file with the same shadow behind them. There's a third telephone claim we haven't told you about yet, filed years before Bell's, by a man who lost everything not to a rival's paperwork, but to a $10 fee he couldn't afford to renew. That's next time, on History Brain.